let's see. Today we're going to look over Ana as a character, and we're going to do some drills that I've come up with just for Ana. So the main thing about Ana's playstyle and more is that there's a little bit of there's still both types of aiming. So I would still recommend doing your tracing drills that I've mentioned before on the moving targets and on the stationary ones, and your flicking ones. But one thing that's really important is the snapping and flicking motions. Those drills need to be done all the time, because with Ana you see a lot of players do these snapping left clicks, so that when there's a lot of different people you can get healing all of them by alternating your heals. So for example, in all these 3 bots, I would recommend practicing snapping between them and getting heals on all of them. And same idea goes with enemies. So stand here next to this one, next to this fucking column, whatever it's called, and then start snapping to all the different bots that you see, and then see how many you can hit. And you should be doing this because this will practice how fast you are when hip firing, because this will practice your fast hip fire and stuff like that. Like, you need to be, when you're playing Ana, you just need to be very confident with your hip firing before you can move on to the other ones. So the next thing I would go over would be the quick scope. So the quick scope is just when you right click, when you see the scope come in, you cancel it immediately, and then when you see the scope like that, you fire. So it looks like this. The perfect quick scope is when you don't even see the scope like image pop up, and you just see the hit scan tracer get left. So the whole thing about this, the secret about this of why this is useful, is that this is where your tracing and your flicking comes in, because quickscoping is all about your crosshair placement. If your crosshair is already on the target when you quickscope, then it's just going to be even more reliable. Like, I missed that one too, but that one I hit. So that's like a huge thing, and that's practices flicking and snapping. It's like the big thing with Ana. Now, the other thing that's really important is making sure reloading. Every time you basically reload with Ana, you could get yourself in a really crappy situation. And so the best way is to use your reload and cancel it with an action. So it's not really canceling, but it's just like putting another action on it. So the easy way to practice this is that hear the sound of when you reload. So you hear the click, and then you can cancel it. I use that click as the main thing, so that was way too soon. And then I hear the full click, and then I just go in. I just reload, cancel. And the thing to do with this is that when you reload, cancel, you can use certain abilities to cancel that. So for example, instead of using melee, I'm gonna use my grenade. So reload, and then throw the grenade. And you can see how the ammo went up to 10, and now I have the full clip. And the same idea happens with sleep dart. So you'd be like, with that, and then see I have now the full clip. So that's like the other big thing to practice. So pretty much practice your quick scoping, your timing, the timing of jumping and then quick scoping like that. That was the perfect quick scope, by the way, that I just mentioned, and I think you should be fine. But those are really the 3 essential things to practice with Ana right now to get yourself to be faster and just much better. And then everything else, obviously, like positioning and stuff, will be covered like later on, or going over later on. But yeah. This is my 3 drills really for Ana. Is do the snapping from both sides, and then quick scoping, and then you can also practice on that high ground, but yeah, and then using the reload cancel. So yeah, those are the drills for that.